Hello, hello, Pizza Packs here with another gift edition of Throne of Eldraine, or Throne of Eldraine gift edition bundle. So let's go ahead and get this thing opened. All right. That's the tag for it. Oh, no. It's Box Avalanche. All right. Got our awesome Throne of Eldraine die. Our packs. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Okay, so we've got our packs. Start things off with the Collector's Booster. This is Throne of Eldraine Bundle 2, Pack number 1. Collector's Booster. Get a foil food token. Let's see if we can get that light. There we go. Food token and a bear token. Very nice. Oh my god, why is someone blowing up my phone? We have Prophet of the Pack. Swear. Merrily Frider. True Love's Kiss. Malevolent Noble. Moonlit Scavenge. Jesus. Moonlit Scavengers. Sir Farron, the Henjamer. He was really popular in some aggro strats at the time. Inspiring Veteran, another aggro strat. Spinning Wheel, which was a limited all-star. Steelclaw Lance, which was used in the Black-Red Knights deck. Reaper of Night, another limited all-star in the storybook treatment. And then Two-Unveiled Treefolk, also in the storybook. And Ardenvale Tactician. We have Silverwing Squadron. Right. That is our first one of those. Why is that not on my list? 315. What? This isn't on my list at all. Is this one of the cards from... What is this from? There's nothing... This isn't a flip card. That's strange. So we'll write this in 315. This is our first one. Silverwing Squadron. It's rare. It's strange. Then we have Fires of Invention. There was a whole deck built around that, which is actually still played in Pioneer, if I remember correctly. That is our first Fires of Invention. And then Blacklance Paragon, which is also used quite heavily in the Knights deck. Let's see, that is our first Blacklance Paragon. All right. move on to booster pack number 1. We have our commons and uncommons. Fling. Oh, I miss Fling. All that glitters. Nice. Beanstalk Giant. Nice. Worthy Knight. This was used heavily in several Knight decks because of how many tokens it could pump out. That is our first Worthy Knight. We have a mountain and a human token. All right. Now we have pack number 2. Got our commons and uncommons. Forever Young, of course, having a really great combo with Sir Conrad, Trapped in the Tower, which was really great. Piece of removal for Sealed. Golden Egg, nice. Turn to Nature, which is actually back in Standard now. Lucky Clover, so good it got banned in Standard. Cauldron Familiar. We got a Rankle, Master of Pranks. Very nice. Rankle actually still sees a little bit of play in the Black-Red Sack deck in Standard, or not Standard, but in Pioneer. Some versions have dropped it at this point, but I've seen a few that still use it. Come on now. Barge in. Scorching Dragonfire, nice. Gingerbread Cabin, still see some play. Not as much as the other lands, but still quite a bit. Deafening Silence, we're actually going to pull that. And Castle Embereth. As our first Castle Embereth. Swamp and on an adventure token. So many good commons and uncommons in this set that see quite a bit of play in other format. Well, and saying that this is out of Standard, but in multiple formats. Explained Vision. All right. That's one of the really cool things about Throne of Eldraine. The commons and uncommons were of exceptional quality, so they still see quite a bit of play, but they saw a ton of play in Standard. Claim the Firstborn. That gets pulled. Keeper of Fables. Then we have a borderless Oko Thief of Crowns. Holy crap. So Oko is the second most expensive card in the set at this point, and is banned in almost every format. We just pulled a borderless one. Would have been nice to pull that when he was still legal in things, because at one point the borderless version was up around $100, which is just kind of crazy. Now I think it's around 20, somewhere around there. So now have a borderless Oko. Very nice. And you'll notice that these are regular booster packs, not set boosters or anything like that. So it's the equivalent of draft boosters, and we're pulling great cards. Almost like that's the way it should be. Got our commons and uncommons. Ginger Brute. I actually need to pull that aside to go into one of my Urza's packages. Embereth's Shieldbreaker, and Drown in Lock. Both cards that I need to pull for other decks. Then we have Castle Locthwain. That's actually our second Castle Locthwain. Very happy about that. Love the castles from a design perspective, and they're actually good. You know? Pretty sure all of them. See, Ardenvale still sees some play in control decks as a finisher. Embereth still sees play, even in, I've seen it played in mono red and modern. Castle Garenbrig is used in a number of decks. Even now, Castle Locthwain also sees quite a bit of play, and Vantress sees play in Pioneer. So, like, all of the, like, there are so many cards from this set, because the set was very, very powerful. Red Cap Melee, that sees play. Uh, one of my favorite cards of the set, Dance of the Mance. Be Our Guest as our first Dance of the Mance. Then a foil Witch's Oven. Very nice. Swamp and On an Adventure. Okay. We're on to pack number 7. We've had some fantastic pulls from this. And it's funny because, like, packs like this are a perfect example of why we need to go back to just one or two kinds of boosters. This, like, there's quite a few cards here that are worth playing. Golden Egg, very nice. And you don't have to deal with a million, well, not actually a million, but like a half dozen variants for every friggin' card. Shine Chaser, Sundering Stroke. Now I don't remember this card at all. Don't even remember it being in the set. Which is fine. But that is our first Sundering Stroke. So, like, I remember almost every single rare and mythic from this set, with the exception of Sundering Stroke. And maybe one or two other cards. And that's because almost everything in the set saw play. And still sees play. Which is a good thing. Like that is a heavily played set, but there was so many things that you could play that it was actually really diverse. Yeah, adventures got pretty out of hand. Yeah, the 3 and 4 color adventure decks got out of hand after a while, but there were a ton of great Embercleave, nice. A ton of really great cards in the set that still see play. And this was a relatively small set. It was 269, and only had 15 mythics. Like, that's a lot better than the size of like the Brothers War, which had, if I remember correctly, 26 mythics. Had at least 20. I think it had 26. Let's see, 120. And a foil Bone Crusher Giant. Very nice. It's our second Bone Crusher Giant. That's awesome. Mountain and On an Adventure. And again, these cards are this set's almost 5 years old, if I remember correctly. No, 4 years old. It's around 4 years old at this point. 3 or 4 years old. I think it was it's either the beginning of 2019 or the end of 2019. think it was actually the end of yeah, it was the end of 2019 because Theros Beyond Death came out and was the next set after this, and that was just before the pandemic started at the beginning of 2020. So scorching dragonfire, very nice. But like there's commons and uncommons in here that I'm actually excited about. Um, I can't really say the same thing about newer sets, or at least not as much. And the rares and mythics feel attainable and feel reasonable. Wishclaw Talisman, very nice. Like that Wishclaw Talisman sees play in Legacy and even Vintage sometimes, mostly in combo decks, which is why I'm excited about it because I need it um, for Perfect Storm. Like that sees play in Perfect Storm, Ad Nauseam Tendrils, and a few other decks. And pack 10. I'm not saying that everything should have the power level that this did, but like the rare to mythic ratio is far better than newer sets. You know, not having a million different variants of every card, just having one or two. Mystical Dispute, very nice. Pulling that to the side. Sir Conrad, nice. Fervent Champion. All right, Fervent Champion, where are you? 124. That is our first Fervent Champion, which feels off. Foil Golden Egg, Mountain, and a Giant token. Oh, that's the wrong stack. Yeah, for as busted as Throne of Eldraine was, like this feels much more reasonable than several of the newer sets. Um, I'm there are so many fewer bad hits in a set like this than a newer set, or than newer sets, and you don't have to open as much to get to your mythics, like because there's not as many mythics that you're trying to chase. So like this feels like a more reasonable set to open than Phyrexia All is One. Like we blew through Phyrexia All is One, and I was less happy opening boxes of Phyrexia All is One than I have been opening bundles of Throne of Eldraine. Like I am very happy with my pulls here. Some of our boxes of Phyrexia All is One, they were miserable. Granted that that set just feels miserable to me for a number of reasons, but like I feel confident opening, you know, things like this that I could get a matching playset of cards. And if I wanted, obnoxious alternate borders and stuff like that, I could get that by buying collector's boosters. But I don't I don't feel compelled to open set boosters to get cards that otherwise are unattainable in draft boosters. Like the broader accessibility of the set feels better than than for instance newer sets. Like it just I don't know how else to put that. Like this feels like a more accessible set than some of the other stuff that that's been coming out. So I don't know. If the goal is to make Magic more accessible, printing a million different variants doesn't do that. But that's just my take on it, I guess. All right. Thank you for joining me on this adventure. Um, you know, And thank you for listening to me complain for a minute or for a few minutes during this. As always, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and let me know what's the set that you've liked the most in the last 5 years. Um, I'm torn, honestly. I don't know. I can't really decide which one I've liked best. I can tell you which ones I like the least, but that's not as constructive. So, if you like this content and want to see more of it, there should be another playlist here or a video that YouTube thinks you'd like right here. And until next time, stay awesome, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.